very easy to implement, and ideas and strategies that all involve ways to help improve our health and fitness and our diet. And one area that we can always start to focus more on is our gut health. And I feel as though this is a topic that some of us really can use a lot of education on. And in these Zooms and in these webinars, I tend to spend 20 to 30 minutes educating you guys. So we will do the same tonight. I don't have a ton of time to go in depth, but if you choose to join us for next week, we will go into more information and really dive in a little bit more into some of the topics we're going to include a little bit on here tonight. So, all right, I'm going to go and begin here, guys, with a quick introduction. Welcome, you guys that are joining us here, whether on Zoom or in our Busy Moms Take Their Health Back group. And just making sure that I give you guys just a second here to make sure you're hopping on here. For those of you that do not know me, just a quick introduction. I am Amanda Villarreal. I have been in the health and wellness industry for many, many years. I am a personal trainer. I teach group fitness classes. I'm also a certified nutritionist, a health coach, and a busy mom. And we have myself and husband, Art. We have 5 children. We live here in Zeeland, Michigan. And we are here to provide you guys with lots of ideas and things that we can do to, really help with, I feel as though many of us, it's hard to find what strategies work best for us. And we are all different. So you're going to even find tonight with some of the things that I'm sharing with you that some of the ideas I'm going to give lots of options for. And this gives us room to be able to have some choices. And then from there, I'm happy to help guide you on what choices might be best for you. But as a reminder, everything that we're going to be doing here next week in our Healthy Gut Focus is going to be inside this group called Healthy Gut Reset. So it's a special group designed just for these challenges where we are doing specific topics for. So again, this is a special group. So if you're not a part of that, make sure that we get you added, because that's where we're already starting to share some information and getting us ready here for next week. So let's get into talking a little bit about what are some of the causes of poor gut health. I believe that many of us do know that it can be genetic, and those genetic factors can definitely play a part in, various areas of our health and our families. And we want to note that those factors, though, are not a guarantee in saying what's going to happen with our health, right? But we know that because of the certain characteristics of maybe things that we have seen in our families, that then we can start to cater more our diet and our choices to make sure that we're really staying on top of trying to decrease our risk for some of those things that we may be more prone to. Another common thing that happens with our gut health is, over 70% of your immune system lies in your gut. So if we notice we are, getting sick a lot, we might be struggling with, just feeling like we can't, keep away from catching that next virus that's around us, that's definitely a sign that, our gut health needs some attention, right? Along with nutritional deficiencies, so common that we might have a deficiency that, can be triggered and really emphasize some of the symptoms that we do see from poor gut health, along with exposures to a lot of toxins. And this is one of the things that we really want to try to help you guys with in this group, is giving you guys solutions in all areas of health and wellness. It's not about just one area, right? We want to look at this as multifaceted, and we really want to try to, attend to all the different areas to really make our health and our life more balanced. And exposure to toxins is one of those areas. If you think about personal care products and cleaning products, things that we're breathing in every day, very, very important to start looking at. Also stress, emotional distress, all definitely, deplete our gut health and our common causes and triggers: poor diet, lack of nutrients. And anytime we are on medicines for a long period of time, we can definitely notice that also can increase a lot of the bad. Our microbiome gets changed and altered. So it's even more reason we need to look at some areas and ways that we can help to build up our gut health. So honestly, poor gut health can affect our entire body. I want to talk a little bit about, give an example here of Crohn's disease and one of the testimonials I'm going to share here in a little bit. But if you look at inflammatory bowel disease, this is something, the symptoms don't oftentimes directly guide you to what your diagnosis immediately might be. For example, weight loss. How are you all of a sudden going to know that that is because of, inflammatory bowel disease? We don't. Some of these things can take time to diagnose, but we want to keep trying to, again, I say this a lot, but be proactive. Try to, as soon as you notice a symptom, don't ignore it. Your symptoms are the first sign that is leading to a disease. So we really want to try to pay attention to some of these things. Crohn's disease is really continuing to grow. And we notice that, some of those symptoms definitely affect directly coming from what's happening inside of our gut health. Now, how does this affect our immune system? I kind of mentioned a little bit about this in just a second ago, but even, why is it that a healthy gut leads to a really powerful immune system? Like I said, so much of our immune system is in the gut. Now, the range of what we can work on is tremendous in different areas, from foods to environmental to build up. Now, your gut microbiome actually teaches your T cells to distinguish the difference between bad and what our body can naturally produce on its own. And this is where, when we learn about microbiome, we learn more about how a plant-based diet can be extremely helpful for our microbiome. And this is part of the reason why you're going to notice in this reset next week that we are focusing more on whole foods and fruits and vegetables. And you're going to have some options for how you choose to do this reset. And I'll go into that a little bit more here soon. But an autoimmune response, this is all tied into, guys, inflammation. Again, inflammation tied into so many of the things we see with a lot of the diagnoses today, and are all symptoms of a lot of various diseases that sometimes are all related to within our digestive tract. And it's interesting, there are actually 3 million Americans that suffer from inflammatory bowel disease, and there are 3 kinds of these: colitis, ulcerative colitis, and Crohn's disease. So if you look at what happens with this, basically there's some part of your intestinal tract that has inflammation, maybe a different part of it, but that is how then it starts to trigger it into one of these specific kinds. Now, this is just a quick story I wanted to share of one of our good friends, and also someone that we have known for many, many years. And she had started with chronic digestive problems. And I think that sometimes we don't always recognize that things like being constipated and maybe going back and forth between being constipated and having diarrhea to, migraines as being a symptom. But it was so severe for her that she continued to push for testing, and then was diagnosed with Crohn's at a young age of 18. At age 24, it took her a while to, she was sick for a very long time, but, had surgeries to remove 3 different segments of her small intestinal tract. She is still tiny to this day, but got down to 69 pounds and was told that she would never, lead a healthy life or a normal life. And here she is now, after many, many years. And, after surgery, getting, really focused on her vitamin regimen, her diet, and a lot of the things that we're going to be doing here within this reset, very similar to what she did. But look at the things that, sometimes we just continue to blow off, and how these things can 100% be turned around. And I think this is just, again, really important to highlight this. So just to kind of mention, guys, it is never too late or never too early to start to focus on our gut health. And one of the things that we start to look at is, at the cellular level, these 3 things we need to really make sure that we are thriving at the cellular level: oxygen, proper nutrients, and the ability to eliminate waste. And this is really part of why we look at doing a reset or a cleanse. A big part is just to make sure that all of our organs are properly functioning. And this means we do need to make sure we are having regular bowel movements, that we are continuing to stay active, that we just recognize the things that sometimes, we forget are not normal. And also, sometimes we realize that, we have a holiday coming, right? We overload our system maybe with lots of foods we're not used to, and maybe more sugar, things that weaken our immune system. And these accumulate over time, which 100% lead to different variations of degenerative diseases, particularly colon cancer. And we need to look at, guys, how we can change this. And there are options. And again, I'm going to give you guys several variations of what we can do for next week from a reset or a cleanse perspective. Now, the cleanse is going to be a 100% focused on fruits and vegetables. And it is a great way to really help you with resetting your body. This is going to be the hardest variation for what you have next week, okay? All fruits and vegetables and supported with supplements, which are going to be targeted at specific areas of your body. So let's start here really quickly with Herblax. This is going to be one of them. You will have 2 packets. There's an AM and a PM packet if you're doing the cleanse. And in those packets, one of the options is Herblax. Now, there's also a couple other packages that I'm going to give you options for, and you can kind of pick and choose according to what your needs are. And if you're not quite sure, we are here to help you guys. Whoever you're working with, our goal is to be able to help design and cater to whatever your needs are. So feel free to reach out and say, hey, what do you suggest? And we'd be happy to recommend the best path for you. But Herblax is one that is designed to really help act as a detoxifier for your body. So laxatives oftentimes are very depleting. They really push out all the electrolytes. They definitely can dehydrate you. And this is going to be a very gentle version of a laxative. Okay, so it really does help to stimulate your bowels. Now, there are many people that actually use this every day, and you can kind of find the right place for you that whether you struggle with, you think that you're just totally fine and normal, I would still encourage you to do Herblax. If you have a lot of diarrhea before starting this, still use Herblax. Or you're constipated, still use Herblax. What it does is it helps if you go too much, you go not enough to regulate you. If you're already fine, great. It's just going to help to make sure you're pushing through the healthy things throughout your bowels. So 100% want to make sure that you know of this product called Herblax. And if you guys are, not familiar with something called sienna leaf, this is the main thing that is in Herblax. And this was an original product developed by Dr. Shaklee, who, used nature, and still the focus of Shaklee today of using nature-based but scientifically proven ingredients to create a combination that works with everyone's body that will never harm any cell. That has been the focus since Shaklee started, when Dr. Shaklee made the first multivitamin back in 1915. That focus has continued throughout all of these years and still does today. So this Herblax, 100% a great thing, beyond even just looking at it for, okay, I don't have regular bowel movements, but even just things that, I mentioned at the beginning. Maybe you've used medications in the past, or you've had some surgeries, or, different viruses that have hit your body. So many things can cause a buildup in our system that this kind of helps to work our way through here. And if you guys think of some questions, feel free to pop those in the chat, by the way, guys. So, and what is liver detox? This is going to be another one. If you're choosing to do the cleanse, this is going to be one of the products that's going to be in your packets. Now, your liver is, basically in charge of so many things to do with our cells. And, some of the things that happens if our liver is sluggish, that we start to notice symptoms like headaches and joint pain, even, cirrhosis of the liver, very common, right? Scarring. And this liver detox is something that is crucial. If you know that you need help with your liver, this is something you can 100% take on a daily basis, but it really does help to provide protection, okay, and helping with your liver cell repair. So I 100% believe that, your liver, and we're going to get into this a little bit more next week, is common times overlooked for many of the symptoms that we would never say, oh, that's related to my liver. And I just see a question here. Are these products safe for kids 7 to 11 years old? 100%. You would just do lesser amounts. And for example, that Herblax is really soft. It's easy to crush. Liver detox too, you can actually open that and put it into something. So yes, 100% you could use these for kids too. Just use them at a lesser amount, generally where we say a starting point is. So like half of an Herblax, for example, to start. So now there are some other options. And again, I'm giving you guys a lot of information because we want to make sure that, again, like I mentioned, we're not a one size fits all, right? We all need different places to target and work on. Now, our probiotics, there's going to be several different options available to you for this. If you're doing the cleanse, the Optiflora DI is going to be included in your packs, and that is a great higher strain probiotic. Now, maybe you are someone, though, that I mentioned at the beginning, maybe has already some major digestive system issues. You might note that the Optiflora DI, you struggle with that many strains of bacteria. So you might have to start out with using what's called the Pearl, and that is only 2 strains. So it's a little less, but still an amazing probiotic option. And if you also know, for example, you have, something like diverticulitis, let's say, that your probiotics maybe don't feel like they are absorbed very well, we could also use something called a prebiotic complex. The easiest way to describe it is that prebiotic prepares your intestinal tract to absorb the probiotic. So sometimes that can be really important to note because it's not oftentimes talked about. We hear so much about probiotics, but there is also an important thing too with the prebiotics. So, all right, and let's get into some other options here. Now, alfalfa, this is also included in the cleanse packets, but alfalfa again just is a power-packed source of chlorophyll. It's like eating a really big green leafy salad, but it's a detoxifier, helps to pull heavy metals from your body, helps with your circulation. Per the cleanse, it is perfect to, again, really help with that alkalinity. It helps to make the body more alkaline. So, I am one personally, I will tell you guys, I've taken alfalfa every day faithfully for over 20 years, and I use it for circulation, and it really does help with swelling of my leg that I have a vascular condition in, and there's different uses for it. But from a digestive standpoint, this is a great thing to be focusing on for our gut health. We talked about Herblax, our probiotics. EasyGest would be another one for digestive health if we're talking about how to work on gut health. EasyGest is a great thing to take before a meal to help give enzymes to break down the foods you are eating. So for some of us, if you note, okay, I eat certain foods and every time I'm really gassy or I'm bloated after I eat, for example, celery, just as an example. And if you can take something like an enzyme, oftentimes you will notice those symptoms. You don't have them anymore because the enzymes help to break it down. So this is a great thing to note if you are one that struggles with a lot of bloating and just general, you're not quite sure why you have upset stomach after you eat certain foods. It could also be because maybe you are developing some sensitivities to foods that you get these reactions. So again, the EasyGest will kind of make sure that you're pushing it through safely where, oftentimes if you just keep putting, for example, dairy in your system, you're not supposed to have it, those symptoms continue to get worse. And that's what we want to eliminate. We want to start to recognize and treat before it becomes a big problem. Stomach soothing complex is also a great option to be used as needed or on a daily basis, but perfect if you're just someone that notes that you get a lot of, nausea, just indigestion. Peppermint has been used for many centuries to help with relieving upset stomach, and that is the main ingredient in there. So just really good things to note that, kind of think about where your symptoms are. Maybe you're just like, hey, I just need a general gut health reset. Perfect. Then we can kind of lead you into which area we need to focus on. But maybe you are someone that you're like, hey, I really need to focus on inflammation because I know that I'm really struggling with, a lot of inflammatory type symptoms. These are going to be some other important areas to note. Vitamin C, high in antioxidants. This one is time released, stays in your system for 12 hours. Turmeric, amazing, combined with that black pepper to make sure that you're really helping to get the high antioxidants that also are great for inflammation. So a lot of our joint issues are, maybe waking up with some pain or just struggles in general with just, trying to keep swelling down. Turmeric is amazing for that and a little different than using it in a powder and cooking with it. The supplement, you're going to know it's going to be live. If you use a powder and you cook with it, you're not quite sure it's getting the full properties that you have in a supplement form. So little difference. Omega Guard, guys, those are going to be your fatty acids to help with, again, talking about so many different properties of what fish oils do. We could spend a lot of time on this, but basically to just help with circulation. Okay. Keep things pushing through you. Great for joints, heart, brain, many areas. Alfalfa, we talked about. Vivix would be one more area that this focuses at the cellular level in slowing down aging, but it can also be a great product to help with inflammation. So if you have some, again, maybe things, rheumatoid arthritis, things that you really want to concentrate on the inflammatory properties, these are going to be your go-to, guys. And alfalfa, I'm mentioning for both areas because, like I said before, this is a great one to screenshot of, but it alkalizes and detoxifies, especially your liver. And alfalfa has been used, most people think of it as grass, right? But this is a little different. This is actually a formula that grows 15 feet deep, absorbs trace minerals, and is not produced for many years. They make sure it's full grown to fully absorb the minerals. A lot of alfalfa products that we see are picked as very small leaves, so it doesn't have time to absorb a lot of what the value is of the alfalfa. So this is one that, again, I can't emphasize enough, is a really great thing to incorporate for our gut health focus here. So if you are doing the cleanse, I just wanted to make sure I mention a few things if you've never done this, because I know there's a couple of you that are new. So just to quickly highlight, why do a cleanse? This is perfect for detoxification purposes, to, help with your digestion, kind of reset your eating habits, and to jumpstart weight loss. Now, if you've never done this before though, okay, you will be fine. Just note, it takes a lot of prep. That would be the number one thing that I see Sarah's on here too, and she would agree with me, because whenever I ask, she's also the one too, we say, hey, make sure you prep a lot. That's the biggest reason we see people oftentimes do not succeed, is the prep. How often should you do this? Couple times a year, 2, maybe 3, depending on how you do this. If you are doing more of a reset though, and again, we'll show that in a second here, you are safe to do resets as often as you would like. We do want to make sure we're emphasizing whatever version you're doing, we're going to make sure we are eating every 2 to 3 hours. Focus on as many fruits and vegetables as you can consume. The cleanse is only fruits and vegetables, along with your AM packets, your PM packets. You will have tons of recipes. There's actually a great recipe guide that's over 60 pages. If you guys want to print it, you're welcome to, but it is going to be inside that group underneath the file section. That is a great place to go to for getting some ideas and suggestions. If you want to start looking through that, I already downloaded it into the group, so you're welcome to check that out. We can continue living a normal life through this, guys. This isn't designed to be, I have to take a week off from work and I can't do anything, but we're not going to suggest that you go and run a marathon during this week. We do want you to be a little more attentive to how you're feeling, and just to make sure you're kind of noting, guys, that the idea in the process of this is to help improve your long-term habits. Every challenge that we are bringing to you guys, it is the same goal, to help teach you ways that you can help to sustainably create lifelong habits. So we're going to have a tracker. This is it. I'll be posting this soon in the group. I know, Nicole, you asked about this. This will be our tracker that we are going to focus on, guys. So if you're doing more of just the gut health reset, you can see that some of these are going to be for everyone. We're all going to be focusing on water. We're all going to be focusing on vegetables. We're all going to be trying to move every day. We all want to get enough sleep. We all want to de-stress more. We're all going to take our version of supplements. And if you're doing the cleanse, this is where it's different, because you will not have the life shake if you are doing the full 7-day cleanse. All right. So in our prep mode, I want you guys to start in the next couple days, right? Probably after Thanksgiving would be a great time to start to clear your pantry, fridge of unhealthy foods, and start to prepare now what you're going to be buying, and think about some of that meal prep. So what are some of the things that you're going to get next week? We're going to give you lots of tips. We'll have some prizes. There is an accountability workbook in the file section. You're welcome to print that. There is this habit tracker that will be shared. I wanted to make sure I went over it with you first before I posted it in there, but you will have this tracker, recipes, shopping list. And for your supplements, this is where you are going to kind of determine which area you want to focus on. Okay. So here is one option. This was an option that was put together from Shaklee. I think it's a great starter pack for the value. Members, if you're already a Shaklee member, you can take advantage of this deal also. Everyone can. If you use the code GUTHEALTH, you also get a special guide sent to you. So if you're brand new, you'll get a free membership and free shipping. But this is going to have in there, guys, the probiotic we talked about, okay, the Optiflora DI, the EasyGest, the digestive enzymes, the Life Shakes, and that's a meal replacement, your collagen. So this is going to be really designed to helping with, building up your protein and giving a little bit of just gut health focus, along with the dietary things that we're going to be focusing on. If you're also someone that's brand new, we want to make sure we mention the Ready Set Wellness, because this is a great way to get your customized vitamin packs with all of your vitamins, your multis, your omegas, has everything in it. And you get that 7-day healthy cleanse for free. This is a great value. So we also want to note, if you are new and you've never ordered Ready Set Wellness, this is a great starting point to help with gut health also. Or there's a special gut health bundle that you could also choose. And you are a member, you can feel free to put these together in any kind of combination you would like to. But this is just a great way to look at, okay, you have your great multivitamin pack, your Vitalizer. We have our Life Shakes to make it an easy, balanced meal replacement. To also, these do have in there, guys, prebiotics, by the way, all the Life Shakes. We have our EasyGest and our Optiflora DI, similar to that first pack. Or there's a 7-day cleanse bundle. So I wanted to give you guys just pictures of lots of different ideas. And what would this bundle be? This is, again, the cleanse, has your Life Shakes that you could use if you're one that wants to try. Now, like, for example, me and my husband, Art, I just asked him, what version of this do you want to do? Because we do cleanses and resets almost, I'd say every month or two, different version, because if you guys are doing it, we do it too. So we're going to do a reset this month. So we're still going to use our 7-day healthy cleanse vitamins and our vitamin packs that we have, our Meology vitamins, but we're also going to add in there some protein. So some life shakes, maybe some form of, eggs. We might be having some chicken, but we're still going to keep out a lot of the main culprits that build inflammation and break down some of our healthy gut bacteria, which would be our dairy and our gluten. So we're going to be avoiding that for the most part next week. But we also love having options for a little bit more antioxidants, which green tea is an awesome source of that. So these energizing tea sticks, we do allow you to use these. They are a combination of red, white, and green matcha teas. They can be very helpful for maybe some of you that are also a little scared because you've never done a cleanse. And maybe you're someone that uses a lot of coffee. Then this will be a great alternative for you. So remember, we are trying to look at building some new habits, but I want you to know again that you have choices, guys, okay? So I don't see any more questions, but if you thought of some throughout this, feel free to go ahead and quickly put them in here and I'll see if I can answer them. But I do want you guys to note that this is a journey, okay? So next week, as you're starting to think about maybe which version you're doing, that, each time you're going to learn something about yourself. And I promise that every time you will feel better if you can stick with this. Even if you think you fail one day, it doesn't matter. We're going to keep moving forward. And our goal is to support you and to encourage you and to motivate you. And we are here to help you. So the questions you might have, guys, you're never going to be left alone. You're not going to have, hey, what do I do today for this? We will get back to you as soon as possible. That's part of our commitment to you guys is throughout next week. We're going to be there to help you. So, and also I want to just throw out there for Black Friday. I am not usually, promoting a ton of Black Friday specials, but inside our lifestyle group on Facebook, we will have some Shaklee Black Friday and continuing into Cyber Monday specials. And also I'm going to be promoting after Black Friday. If you're looking for some at-home workouts and meal plans, we are going to be for all of our members, our AV Wellness app members and website subscriptions, giving a special wellness box. This will have some just fun things to help you get started on your journey along with a 30-day accountability system. So just want to make sure I mention this. If you've been thinking about, man, I really need to get moving more. I need some options. These are all 5-minute, 20-minute workouts, all fitness levels, great way to get you started. So I wanted to make sure I mentioned that. All right, guys, I didn't see any questions pop up here, but I want to make sure that, again, you have some questions. We're here to help. I hope this was helpful, guys. And make sure that you are inside that Facebook group so that you can join us. And we are, again, available for questions, guys. So happy Thanksgiving. And we look forward to helping you all next week throughout our Healthy Gut Reset. So guys, take care. Thanks for joining in.